Right, it's actually 12:01, so I think let's get going and see who else appears whenever they're ready. So just go ahead and mute everyone while I'm doing that. Quick reminder, what we're doing here is we are practicing the kind of stuff, the behaviors that hopefully leads to sustained positivity. And in many ways, there's actually nothing that magical about it. Although, as I will show you shortly, there's some wonderful neuroscience magic going on. But the gist of it is just let, let's do this every day, and the more we do these practices, the easier it gets. And if we do it in community, it's even more enjoyable and just makes the whole endeavor worthwhile. So, okay, so today's quote is by this guy, Andrew Huberman. I've learned a lot from Andrew Huberman's podcast, and he has this great quote where he says, "Deliberate breath makes the mind visible." And I hope that what we're going to do today will reinforce that insight, that when there's something very magical and special about breathing. And although it's something that we do all day long automatically, and for the most part don't even think about it, when we do it intentionally and actually think about it, there's something different that happens. And here's sort of the difference of what happens. So this is a picture of a human brain taken from the left side. So the eyes are in this person are looking left. In the middle, you can see the so what the beginnings of we call that the limbic system, and that sort of connects directly to the spinal column. The reason that's relevant is if you think about how the human body works, we have skin, we have eyes, we have ears, we have mouths and noses, right? We have all these sensory access points, and all of that data as it comes in 24/7, it's constantly being collected by the body. It gets sent up the spinal column into the brain, where the brain can then start making sense of it. Okay, I see you guys are raising your hands. No sound, or everything okay?
Everything's fine, Ollie.
Okay, sorry, I just thought that Donald and Katie raised their hands, so sorry about that. Okay, so all this data is coming in and it enters the brain, and then we have what we would just call reactions, right? So I smell something that doesn't smell good, and I immediately have this sense of disgust. I, Ollie, have really no control over that. It's just happening. I'm now experiencing disgust. Maybe I feel a little nauseous, what have you. Um, Same thing with, oh my gosh, the sun is really hot right now, right? So my skin feels it. The nerves on my skin send that signal upward through the spinal column into this limbic system area. And, then the brain reacts. Now we also have this other part of the brain, which is way on the left side of this picture. So that's the area behind our eyebrow. That's called the prefrontal cortex. And that's the part of the brain that gets to say, yeah, well, wait a second, just because it feels uncomfortable doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Just because this person said something that activated some fear or annoyance doesn't mean I should yell at them or do, right? So there's a regulatory process. That's why this is called the executive center. And it modulates the signals between the inputs that the body's getting and then what we want to do with it. So there's a sense of sort of regulation or control that we can exert here. The yellow area is what's called the anterior cingulate cortex, and in a massively oversimplified way, it is the part that sort of buffers or sits between that reactive limbic system and the prefrontal cortex, which allows us to exert some executive control. So why do we care about this? Well, today we're going to talk about breath. So this idea of deliberate breath. And breath is one of those mechanisms that we can use that actually activates this circuitry. So the more we stimulate it, the more we're able to take some semblance of control back. So I'm in a tricky situation, traffic's feeling kind of heavy. Notice my heart rate is up, right? This is the limbic system getting activated. And then my prefrontal cortex can kick in and say, Ollie, breathe, right? So I can sit there and I can slow things down, take some deep breaths, and so on and so forth. And then that ultimately helps Yeah, helps regulate my subjective experience. So today we're going to do a little ACC workout, and we're just going to try these different breathing techniques. So I'd say let's just start real simple. Close our eyes and start just by noticing how the body's breathing right now, just on its own. You're not trying to change anything. And maybe you can find some words to describe it. So maybe breath is shallow and rapid, or deep and long and full. I don't know what it is for you. But right now, we're just noticing and realizing that the body upregulates and downregulates breath all day long. It's just happening, and we don't even notice it. We have no say in it. It's just going. So it's definitely an autonomic nervous system function that is happening. But now we can do the following. We can choose to intentionally slow that down or alter the quality of breath. So right now, let's just keep it really simple. So take a deep breath in through the nose, long, slow exhale through the mouth, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the belly, the chest, all the way out, and then hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, deep inhale through the nose and long exhale through the mouth, relaxing all the parts of the body involved in that exhale, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just let the body breathe on its own. And then get curious. Notice if even after just 2 intentional breaths like that, if if it feels different to be in your body or in the mind. Might be really subtle, but it's probably there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to intentionally do some what's called physiological sighing. So take a deep inhale through the nose, and then at the end we'll sip. So that's the end of the breath, and then a long, if you want, audible exhale. And we'll do 5 rounds of that, and then just see how that changes our physiology. So here we go. Deep inhale, sip, long exhale. Relaxing the shoulders, the throat, the chest, the belly. Just keep exhaling, exhaling. Whether it's slow in breath through the nose, sip, long exhale. And again, sip, long exhale. Do 2 more. In through the nose, sip, out. Last one. In through the nose, sip, long, slow exhale. Relaxing the shoulders and the chest and the belly all the way out. And then just relax. Let the body breathe on its own. And so now notice if and how the sensation of inhabiting your body feels different, however nuanced that might be. Just noticing how intentionally managing our breath changes the subjective experience of our physiology, our psychology. And now we'll play around with another form of breathing that's pretty handy. So just to try it out as another technique, it's called box breathing. And it's box breathing because it looks like we're going to do equal inhales, holds, exhales, and holds for the same count. So we'll do to a count of 4. So inhale to a count of 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now hold that inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale slowly to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold that exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to slow down a tiny bit. So in 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold 1, 2, 3, 4, and slow exhale through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold the exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to slow it down even one more time for this round. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. That requires some control. And now hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4. Slow exhale through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now hold the exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now again, just let your body return to breathing at its own pace. So we're letting go of controlling our breath and just observing, how does the body feel? How does the mind feel? Probably the most straightforward example of how we can influence the activity of our autonomic nervous system, short of imbibing, caffeine and sugar and alcohol and things like that. This is something that we can do simply just by controlling our breath. It's always there. It's always available. You can do it in stealth mode. So even when you're with other people, sitting at the dinner table or wherever, you can slowly manage your own breath, knowing that it has this magical neurochemical, neurobiological impact on our brain and our nervous system. So hope that's a useful reminder and a tool to send you off on your weekend, and hope to see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone.